Dragapult EX is an absolutely insane, broken, busted deck in Standard, and thanks to its League Battle deck, it has now become even more popular and accessible for players online and for in-person play. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything about how to play Dragapult EX in under 15 minutes, from an in-depth deck profile to some great gameplay. But with that being said, let's dive right into it. Dragapult EX has the attack Phantom Dive, which for 1 Psychic Energy and 1 Fire Energy, we get to do 200 damage and then get to put 6 damage counters on our opponent's bench Pokemon in any way we like. So obviously that allows us to go down the route of taking multiple prizes in a turn with the likes of Dusclops and Dusknoir Curse Blast abilities, putting either 5 or 13 damage counters on one of our opponent's Pokemon. And then Hawlucha for putting 10 damage on 2 of our opponent's bench Pokemon, and Munkidori for moving damage off our damaged Pokemon to our opponent's Pokemon with the likes of Luminous Energy. But let's talk about our overall game strategy with this deck. We want to go second so we can utilise Budew's Itchy Pollen attack for item lock and 10 damage, so we can slowly evolve into Dragapult EX in a couple turns. Then once we've done this, we can start taking multiple prize cards in a turn. But let's talk about some of the training cards that allow us to do this. Buddy-Buddy Poffin helps us set up our Dreepies, Budews and Duskulls on the bench. Our ball search in the deck includes 4 Ultra Ball and 1 Nest Ball. Our draw engine is absolutely insane, with cards like Drakloak with the Recon Directive ability, the new Lillie's Determination and Iono. In terms of our supporters, we do play Hilda, which allows us to grab an evolution Pokemon and an energy card from our deck, and that obviously includes the Luminous Energy and our A-spec of choice in the deck, Neo Upper Energy, being able to fulfill the Phantom Dive attack costs single-handedly. Turo Scenario allows us to pick up one of our Pokemon for when they are heavily damaged, for example. And for our gusting options, we do play a couple copies of Boss's Orders, and we are likely to be going behind on prizes in the early game, so Counter Capture can become really useful. Night Stretcher is a really useful card for getting back any Pokemon we need from our discard pile, or basic energy if we like, especially towards the end of the game, just sealing up a really good attack. But our stadiums of choice in this deck are 2 copies of Jamming Tower, being able to turn off our opponent's tool cards, which seem to be really popular in some decks at the moment, like the new Absol Kangaskhan box, which is absolutely crazy. Obviously I can't go without mentioning our other support Pokemon in the deck, like Bloodmoon Ursaluna for an easy KO towards the end of the game, Latias EX, which gives all of our basic Pokemon in the deck free retreat, and Fezandipiti EX, which is honestly a staple in the most standard decks right now, being able to, draw 3 cards after we're knocked out. But the deck list is down in the description as always, but check out the upcoming gameplay and let me know your thoughts on Dragapult EX in the comments below. Alright, our opponent is going first, and it looks like we are playing against maybe Slowking Seek Inspiration. That is actually kind of wild. This could be a very good match, as all they have to do pretty much is snipe our Dragapults, or Dreepies and Drakloaks early in the game, so we basically don't have a chance to set up. But we'll see how this goes. They start off with a Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and yeah, they're probably just going to get set up with a couple slow pokes and maybe another Natu, something like that. But the good thing about this matchup for us is that Natus only have 50 HP, so we can easily KO them with a singular Phantom Dive or even a Curse Blast on the Dusclops, which is insane. We have a pretty good hand for going second, I'd say. We've got a Buddy-Buddy Poffin to set up our Pokemon, and an Ultra Ball as well. We've got energy in hand as well, so it's looking all okay at the moment. We get another Ultra Ball, that's completely fine. I can definitely Buddy-Buddy Poffin for a Budew and Dreepy. I definitely want to go down the item lock route as soon as possible, but I can definitely Ultra Ball away those 2 cards for definitely a Latias actually for the free retreat. That seems insane. And then I can attach return, which is insane, and I don't have to burn the energy on the retreat, which is excellent. I can even chuck down the Jamming Tower early in case they play any tool cards, and we can just itchy pollen 10 damage and their item locks, which is absolutely insane. Loads of decks. In fact, I'm pretty sure every deck relies on item cards, especially in this format. Like, I mean, what deck hasn't ever not relied on item cards? Item lock is absolutely broken in this game in general, which is absolutely wild. They do just bump our stadium, that is kind of rude. With an Academy at Night, that just allows them to put basically a card from their hand on top of the deck, which is really good in this deck. It means that they can get like the Kyurem on top of the deck and their other attackers, so that they can seek inspiration and use that attack. Anyway, they do just put themselves to sleep, which is weird. Anyway, we top deck a Drakloak. Oh my goodness, that is insane. That means we can recon directive for another Drakloak. You know what I mean? This is insane. I could actually even take advantage of the Academy at Night eventually as well, putting Dragapult on top of the deck. There's an energy as well, that is absolutely insane. And basically, yeah, I can attach return. I can definitely Academy at Night now and put the Dragapult on top of the deck. That seems really, really good in case our hand gets disrupted by Iono or something. I could even boss actually, just in case they don't have the what's it called, the Slow King in the hand, but we can just itchy pollen again and hope that they can't get into the stuff that they need. Yeah, that was a good turn from us. The top deck was absolutely crazy. Getting into 2 Drakloaks in a singular turn is really, really nice. It just sorts out our draw engine massively, which is insane. They bench a Fezandipiti and they Iono us for a fresh 6 cards. That is absolutely wild. That means we can get into the Dragapult and other cards without even, having to do anything, which is absolutely wild. They retreat into the Budew. That is really good for us, because that means I could actually go... Hold on, I'm thinking, my brain's thinking. We can definitely attach return. That seems insane, and I can bench a Duskull now. I can get a Jacq into the hand. That seems good in case we need to get into another other Duskull evolutions like Dusclops or Dusknoir. That seems insane to me. I can get another Duskull out of the deck with the recon directive. That is wild. I can evolve now, which is insane. Means that we're immune from Trifrost damage because we're on the bench currently, which is absolutely wild. I can definitely Academy at Night again, and probably put the Jacq on top just to make sure we can get into those Dusclops and Dusknoir evolutions next turn. But I can definitely just Phantom Dive now, and I can probably just pile on a load of damage onto the Natu to knock it out, and I'll put 1 on the other Natu and 1 on the Fezandipiti EX, just to make that 200 hit points a lot more KOable with Phantom Dive. That seems really, really good for us. I guess now the only problem is that they could try and get the attack off with Kyurem. Kyurem's Trifrost attack is absolutely insane in this deck, especially when you don't play, or your opponent doesn't play, any form of bench barrier protection. Obviously Shaman would be really good to counteract this deck because it just prevents all damage done to non-rule box Pokemon on the bench. It's kind of like, yeah, it's just really insane, to be honest. You know what I mean? Anyway, they do evolve into the Xatu. The Xatu is actually really good in this deck as well. That just allows them to accelerate a psychic energy from their hand or discard pile, I'm not sure, but yeah, that just allows them to power up a Slow King really, really easy in a turn, and it's just really insane. They do flip the script for 3 more cards. I'm getting quite worried. They have the Slowking and the Academy of Night is already in play. The question is, do they have the Trifrost Kyurem in the hand? Because they can just put it on top of the deck with the Academy at Night and, you know, just like take 3 prizes in a single turn. They get Latias for the free retreat, okay. They jet energy onto the Slowpoke. I guess that's just to thin out the hand so they can retreat back for 3 into the Slowking. The Academy at Night, here we go. Do we get to see what they're putting on top of the deck? No, we don't. Okay, I'm guessing that is a Kyurem, to be honest, because that would tell a lot about what they're doing, because they can just seek inspiration probably for an attack this turn, which is a bit worrying, but I'm so glad we do have that Dragapult. Yeah, there's the Kyurem. Okay, they're definitely doing 110 damage to 3 Pokemon, but which Pokemon are they doing it to? Probably both the Duskulls and the Drakloak, I'd imagine, because that would be insane. Yes, there we go. They've just wiped my entire bench, that's crazy. So glad we have the Dragapult in the actives, because now, well, they can't knock out the Latias EX in 1 hit with a Kyurem, which is insane. We top like a Jacq, we knew that was going to happen because we used Academy of Night last turn. We have the Counter Catcher in hand actually, which is actually really good because we can gust up the Fezandipiti EX I damaged at last turn, and I have Ultra Ball in the hand as well. I guess I do really want to disrupt though, don't I, because they have a massive 8 cards in their hand. That's just a lot of cardboard in their hand, I can't lie. So Iono it is, down to 3 cards for them. We get 4 cards and we get an Ultra Ball. That is actually a really good hand, because now I can definitely Ultra Ball for the Hawlucha and, you know, just go from there, because Hawlucha just puts 10 damage counters on 2 of their bench Pokemon, and I'm thinking I can just set up or a KO on the Slowpoke on the bench, which is really good, because they've discarded all their energy and just taking a knockout is absolutely insane. They could actually power up the Azartu, but I just hope that isn't the case. I think this is the best way forward. I can definitely Academy at Night again to put the Lillie's Determination on top of the deck, and then Phantom Dive, knock out the Fezandipiti EX and probably just pile on all the damage on this Slowpoke. I could knock out the Natu here or something like that, or set up another KO on the Latias, but I want to get rid of that energy on the Slowpoke and make sure they have no energy in play. And we take 3 prizes in a single turn, which is absolutely crazy, an absolutely crazy multi-prize turn. We go down to 1 prize. There's another Lillie's Determination in the hand. The question is, do they have it? No, they don't. They just pass. Oh my goodness, they just give us the win. That is absolutely wild, and that means I can just Phantom Dive once more for to take the KO on that Nasty on the bench because it has 50 HP. That is crazy. GG's, what a deck. Absolutely insane. So why is Dragapult EX the deck for you? Well, it's extremely accessible with the League Battle deck that's been released, and you can take multiple prize turns in a single turn, which is absolutely insane, and it's a pure strategy deck, meaning that you have to think with your brain, and it's just perfect for, you know, planning out your game and getting used to that. It's really good for new players, getting used to, you know, getting the gameplay thinking in your head, which is insane. But what changes would you make to this deck with the Phantasmalflames set? Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe and hit that bell. But if you want another masterclass on a popular deck in format right now, click on this Cerulean GX video right here. But until next time, stay strategic everyone. See ya.